Hello well-wishers and welcome to my channel Aspiring Minds. In today's video we are going to discuss the line-by-line meaning and analysis of the poem John Brown, written by the famous musician and songwriter Bob Dylan. So grab your virtual seats and let's begin. In this video you are going to learn about the line-by-line meaning of the song John Brown, written by Bob Dylan. We are going to discuss the four most important themes of the poem, that is anti-war protest, disillusionment, generation gap and self-sacrifice. But to understand the meaning of war poetry better, I'm going to provide the link to another video on my channel which is already live on war poetry in the I button above and in the description box below. Please go and watch that video to get a better understanding of what is war poetry. This song was written by Bob Dylan in 1962 October and it is an anti-war lyric, but it was never included in any of his albums officially because the song talks about the toll, the trouble that war causes, the destruction that it brings along. So in the very beginning we see that John Brown is ready to leave for war to a foreign land and he is bidding a final goodbye to his mother. His mother is very proud and happy of seeing the figure of John Brown, that he is well dressed from head to toe in the attire of or in the uniform of a soldier, and it brings a broad smile on her face. And here, as she is parting from her son, she is giving some final instructions that, "Oh son, you're looking so beautiful, you're looking so fine, and I'm very happy, you're making me feel very proud at this moment." And what is the instruction she gives? She tells or instructs her son to do what the captain says and to bring back a lot of medals when he returns home. Now at this time, John Brown is about to set out on his journey towards the war, and John's mother or John's ma began to shout. She's very happy and she's trying to gather the attention of all the people in the neighborhood to proudly announce that her son is going for war, so that her neighbors can know about it and she can feel proud further about the fact that her son is going to be a soldier. Next, we see that time has passed now and occasionally John's mother would receive letters from her son. She got a letter once in a while and her face broke into a smile and she showed them to the people from next door. She bragged about her son with his uniform and gun. So constantly we see that John Brown's mother is all that she's caring about is to brag, to be proud, to boast and talk further about the glory of war. She's showing off by way of the uniform, the gun, the artillery that is there at home, not realizing the fatal consequences that come along with war. After this, gradually as time passed, the letters stopped coming from John Brown, probably because he must have got involved in serious warfare and he must not have been getting the time to sit and write letters to his mother. And then finally his mother receives a letter which says, "Go down and meet the train, your sons are coming home from the war." So this is the instruction or the message that is sent by John Brown by way of letter, that he'll be coming soon and she must meet him at the station. Now, as soon as she knew that it was time for her to go to the station, she is smiling and all thrilled and happy to go and meet her son after almost a span of 10 months or more, right? That's what we learnt in the previous stanza. Now, when she's standing on the station, she's seeing that one by one all the passengers are coming down from the train, but she cannot find her son. But ultimately, it says that when she did, she could hardly believe her eyes because of the condition in which she saw her son. She could not believe that that was her son because of the appearance, the general condition in which she saw her son. It is almost as if a mother is not being able to recognize her own son. Now, what was the reason that the mother was not able to recognize her own son? It's given over here. Oh, his face was all shot up and his hand was all blown off, and he wore a metal brace around his waist. He whispered kind of slow. So what has happened? The physical appearance of John Brown has completely changed from how she had sent him to war. His face, his entire body is dilapidated, it's destroyed, destructed, wounded because of the war. The injuries and wounds that he has suffered during war has almost made him unrecognizable by his own mother, mother. He's wearing a metal brace around his waist and he's not even being able to walk properly. And more than that, the voice, it has also affected the voice in which he would speak. And then the mother says, "Oh Lord, recognize his face." That she's requesting God, she's praying to God that what has happened to my son's face also, that I cannot recognize him. At this time, when he's asked by his worried mother what is the cause of this terrible looking condition of his, John Brown tries his best to open his mouth to answer the question asked by his mother about what was the cause behind this kind of an appearance of John Brown, but he could hardly even move his mouth. The mother could not bear to see this sight of his son being in so much pain, to such an extent that he was not even being able to express his thoughts freely because of the physical wounds that had been inflicted on John Brown. At this time, John Brown, in a very sarcastic manner, answers the question of his mother, elaborating on the mother's idea about war. He asked her if she remembered the time when he was going for war and considered it as the best thing, as a part of the future prospects that were there for John Brown. He then exclaims that while he was fighting on the battleground, his mother could only feel proud of him. That is the only thing that she could do, and she did not realize the actual horrors and pain that John Brown was going through in reality on the battlefield. She could not even empathize with her own son. That is what happens. People are so busy trying to glorify the idea of war. They think that being brave, courageous is so easy, but the ultimate person who has to face war, he knows the real consequences of it. So that is what John Brown is trying to highlight as a prototype, as a mouth person, as a mouthpiece, as a spokesperson of all the other soldiers. At this time, John Brown further describes the actual things, the actual horrors of war. He says, "I thought when I was there, what am I doing here?" He could not understand the purpose of war. "I'm trying to kill somebody or die trying." So he's saying that I'm trying to kill somebody. Is that what I came here for? And the other person who I'm trying to kill is my enemy, but he looks almost like me. So what makes him and me different? We both are in a different position, being enemies and having a face-off, trying to kill each other, but ultimately we are both human beings. And why are we indulging in this futile act of injuring, killing any other person without any solid purpose or cause? Here John Brown further elaborates that when he was fighting the war, it suddenly comes to his mind, he suddenly realizes that all he was doing was killing another human being just for the sake of war, and ultimately he was just a puppet in the hands of the authorities, of the people who want war just to get glory. Ultimately, it's not these soldiers who are going to get the glory. They may die, they may be wounded, but they may not be cared for. Ultimately, the people who win, the government that wins, that is the government, the ruler is going to be the one who will be getting all the name, fame and glory. And these soldiers are just mere puppets who are fighting for the cause of the country. And look at the cruelty, the harshness of war. They don't even get time to think, because just at the moment when John Brown stops to think about this, a cannonball came and blew off the eyes of John Brown. He probably may have lost his vision, or temporarily because of a blast or something, his vision was impaired. That also shows the disillusionment of war. There's no strict clear clarity about why people go to war. It is just fought because one person wants to gain power upon the other person. Now, as John was narrating the incident of the war, his mother was still in shock. She could not believe that her son was wearing a metal brace to support himself and he would no longer be able to walk properly on his own, probably in the future. As he turned to go, he asked his mother to come closer to him, and this is the most emotional part when the son, the soldier, he has lost his physical functioning property in the way it's supposed to be functioning. His normal functioning has ceased. This is the time when John Brown hands over the medals which his mother wanted to his mother, and he just walks away from there. Let us quickly look at the 4 most important themes that come out from this song or the poem that's there in your syllabus. That is anti-war protest, disillusionment, generation gap, and self-sacrifice. So the primary theme of the song is protest against war. It criticizes the idea of having a physical war, and it questions the purpose of war, because in most cases these wars are fought without any strict, stern, proper, focused attention to any strong, decided target or purpose. It's just fought for the sake of attaining power and glory, and this connects it to disillusionment and regret. All the other people who are going to be involved in war, whether it is the soldiers or any other people who are going to help in the cause of war, it is actually a kind of disillusionment. Their brains are washed either on purpose or by showing the glorious rosy picture of war, so that the people can go and fight for the cause of war, but ultimately what is the result? It leads to death and destruction. The song also highlights the generation gap that is there between John Brown and his mother, and how this causes a revision or a shift in perspective. John Brown did not want to go for war. It is just for the sake of his mother. The mother had brainwashed John Brown into telling that war is something which is very glorious. She presented an idealized notion of war to John Brown, which propelled him to go and fight for the cause of the nation. And at the same time, the poem also shows the individual sacrifice, because we see how at the end John Brown was not willing to go, but he went for the well-being of his country. But ultimately, despite being wounded, he hands over those medals to his mother. It's not that he personally wanted those medals, he just wanted it because his mother wanted him to get those medals. So it also shows that the value of an individual is almost negligent. It's insignificant in the larger political scenario. So that's it from this video. I hope you liked it. Do hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel for more such future updates. Thank you for watching. Bye.